Hi everyone, Catherine here from Ink Finger Cat, back with another craft room declutter, clean, sort out. So today is Sunday the 28th. It has just gone 9 in the morning. I've not yet had my breakfast, so I'm going to go and grab that and a cup of coffee. Just surveying the damage. It's not too bad. I took down the recycling and the rubbish yesterday, so that's out of the way. But I've still got one cupboard left in the desk to sort, and then I think there's a few bits under the desk I want to just go through and make sure that I'm not keeping things that I don't need to. I'm not going through the actual boxes, there's like memorabilia and stuff in there, keepsakes. And then I'm going to move and try and get the rest of the floor sorted in this area of the things that I put on the floor yesterday. And then if I'm up to it, I might tackle some stuff on the bookcase. I don't think I'm going to tackle anything else. I'm really tired from yesterday. My back still really hurts, so I'm a bit achy. But yeah, but I thought whilst I remembered, there were a few bits when I was doing the voiceover for the last video. So this is a series of me doing this, some really in-depth clearing up. But yeah, when I was doing the voiceover, I had second thoughts about a few things that I've put back into cupboards, back on shelves. So I'm going to go and grab those out now because they're going in the get rid of box, because I realised I'd put things away that I actually don't use, so why am I keeping them? And there is a reason for one of them, and the other one was just because I was being lazy. So let me grab those. I think it's really important that you do this, by the way. If you make a second choice, go and do it straight away, otherwise you'll forget, and that's why I insisted on going and doing this, including trying to find a box to put all those random flowers in. Okay, so they were the two things that I was thinking about. There was a calligraphy set that I've only used maybe a couple of times and decided it wasn't for me. And then this whole tub here was full of quite 3D paper flowers from when we used to put those on our cards, but they're so bulky and I don't do collage type work, 3D art. I've got a few pictures around my room that have used those sorts of things, and I know that there's some like on the notice board up at the top there, but it's just not the stuff I do these days. I can't imagine me using that entire box worth of stuff anytime soon. So it's time for them to go. They've been in the room for quite a long time. Time for them to go. Right, coffee, breakfast, and let's get started. Oh, and a quick one, subscribe, like, notification bell, etc. Please do that, and comments below. I'd love to know if you're on a declutter journey or if this inspires you to do a declutter journey. Okay, we're back to voiceover, Catherine. I did not have the energy to finish off my tasks today at all, but I did manage to get all of the desk done, and I did manage to sort out quite a lot of stuff and get rid of a lot of stuff. And I did make a little start on the bookcase. So, you know what? I did better than I'd anticipated first thing this morning. The piles in the other corner of the room have, however, grown. Yeah. Also, once again, I am not fashionably dressed in any way, shape or form. I'm wearing comfy clothes that are lightweight because it gets so warm when you're doing this kind of work. So no judgments of my lovely cycling shorts that I would never dream of wearing outside of the house. And that don't go at all with my Jo Browns little tunic top, which I don't think is very flattering. But anyway. So that cupboard in the corner is my I can't get to it cupboard. So things that are in that cupboard don't get used and don't get looked at. So I sorted out, got rid of quite a few bits and pieces. What's going back in there will be these books. So I have got some childhood books and I don't want to get rid of them. So they will go back into the cupboard. And then I do grab something off the bookcase that I want to keep but absolutely don't use very often at all, and that is the box that's got U-mount and carving rubber in. It's useful to have. I want to keep it. I'm not ready to get rid of it, but I absolutely do not need it in a place that I can easily grab, because it's just not something I use very often. So I know that that eventually goes in there. So now I've started on the pile on the floor, and these are things that have been on the desk, just, yeah, in various places on the desk. Some of them are the tools, etc. And I'm trying to put things away if I can, and yeah, sort them out, including my basket that is my thing that sits at the side of the desk with new purchases in and things I want to use and projects half done. So yeah, I had a good old sort out, and I did get rid of a few bits and pieces, but generally it was more put things in the right places kind of piece of work that was going on. And I'm moving things and putting them in little piles around the room, and the reason for that is I've not yet, just if I don't know exactly where it's going to go, I'm just going to pause, put things together that might be like, you know, things that go together, and then I will try and work out, right, where is the best place to put this. And actually in some cases those things then ended up being a second thoughts. Actually, why am I keeping hold of this? And I did get rid of a few bits and pieces. So quite pleased with that progress, and look at that, we've got carpet appearing, which is great. The red basket is where I am gathering up pieces of other people's artworks, swaps I've had. Oh yeah, that random extra shelf. I genuinely have no idea why I have a random extra shelf, and I have no idea where the pegs are to make it into a shelf. So for the moment, it's just gone at the bottom of the cupboard, because why not? It was at the side for some reason, and I don't really understand why. So this is probably the point, no, not quite, but nearly. I'm at the point where I am starting to lose the will to live, because this is when I realise how many bits and pieces are just hiding in baskets and hiding in plain sight kind of thing. I did sort out a few projects half done or projects to be done. So for example, I'm writing on those things. They are my every beginning of every month I always do a pattern paper project, and this year I've been working through all making cards, magazines, papers and toppers, so I was just putting them all together into a pouch so that it's easier to keep them together. And then I was also sorting out things like I've got die cut words and die cut sentiments. They all need to be in one place. All of my digital stamped images that had been coloured, I don't know where I'd put the pouch. I eventually found the pouch. I put them in the pouch with the rest of the digital stamps so that they're all in one place. So yeah, sometimes it was just a case of being a bit more organised. Right, I did start grabbing things off shelves in order to put things together. There we go, there's the digital stamps. And then thought, no, I really do need to do those baskets that are part of the unit. And I need to sort them out. So in a little while, I think you're about to go into overhead camera and super zoom, super speedy sorting, because yeah, I've got a lot of pens, I've got a lot of pencils. There's just so much. So I am not going to pop a pen back in a box if it's not working. So there are a few get distributed into the bin because they are absolutely not working. I pulled out and put all of my alcohol markers, it didn't matter if they were pro markers or Stampin' Blends, into one basket. I did, however, pull out all the grey ones, and they've gone into sort of a temporary shelf box that goes inside the main tool drawer under my desk, because the greys are ones that I pick the most frequently, and I'm always having to just dig through the stash in order to find them. These are my Stampin' Right markers, which I believe Stampin' Up are starting to retire those. They're not going to do them in future, which I find odd. Having said that, I rarely use them, so I thought I would condense them with other things. And yeah, this is the point where I was like, oh my word, I have so many pencils. Why do I have so many pencils? This is ridiculous. Drawing pencils, HB pencils, there's just so many of them. So I'm just bundling them up with some elastic bands, and I'm putting them in the to-go box. I will go through the to-go box when I come to the end of this project. It's actually already pretty full. But some things are charity shops, some things are take to the school down the road, and some things are just like see if I can de-stash them in another way. Not entirely sure how to do that yet. Here we go, more pens, more pens. So anything that is like a standard felt tippy type pen has gone into one drawer in this unit. So again, doesn't matter about the branding, just putting them all in one place. Oh look, more pens. I am, however, just sorting out the pencil case. This is my bullet journaling pencil case. I'm not doing very well at reinstigating bullet journaling, but I have a desire to. So I am putting things back in the bullet journaling pencil case that might end up being used for bullet journaling. And then I discovered I'd got a whole pencil case full of colouring pencils. So I've now repurposed that, not repurposed it, I've now put that into the cupboard to the left-hand side of my desk that has got my other colouring pencils, and then I put all of my watercolouring supplies in one place, and that's also gone into that cupboard because that's where I keep all of my watercolour paints. So you can see here I've been brave and I've made a start on the bookcase. The plastic boxes I have checked through and they are all mediums. So I'm just thinking, right, okay, I'm going to put all my mediums together. I do make a mistake and put things on the bottom shelf there that do end up coming off and going back onto another shelf because I decided I do want to sort them out. But it's a good starting point. I discovered at this point I could get to that bag that's got my crop bag, so I could put my trimmer in there. But I discovered that I had got these boxes of stuff. So these are all random embellishments, random bits and pieces that have either come from Artful Day boxes, most of them come from Artful Day boxes, or various craft swaps along the way, or things that I've bought. There's a whole load of art parts. I don't do anything like that anymore. I don't really do the mixed media that I used to do. I'm not saying I don't enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I just don't, I've not got a purpose to doing it. And I really enjoy making cards and doing scrapbooking. So I tipped it all out and I went through it. And anything that I thought, actually, that could be used in scrapbooking, for example, or card making, I've kept that. If it's random loose bits and pieces, I have put them into brown paper bags, and they are going to be like little goodie bags that go along with swaps that I might do to see if somebody else might make use of them. And if they don't, they can throw them away. I did throw junk away. I did throw rubbish away. And then anything that was sort of like bigger, I just popped into the to be got rid of pile. Again, other people might find them useful. And at this point I thought, right, well, let's sort out these random trays that I've got going on. And apart from one of them, I've managed to sort them all out. So that's quite good. There's one left and my plate is left. I keep things in those little trays or on my desk plate, just random die cuts or stamped images I've made multiple of, etc. So at this point, I am on the last legs of my energy levels, so it's time to do a bit of a clean and a tidy up so that I can actually use this room for working purposes tomorrow. I might actually also make myself have some fun this afternoon. I might actually do some kind of crafting this afternoon. Yeah, so who knows what will happen this afternoon. I was just by this point determined to get it to a point where I can work here tomorrow. That was the most important part. So thank you so much for watching. This has been part 2 of my video of me totally decluttering and cleaning my craft room. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you again so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.